everybody, and welcome back to the Mind Over Madness podcast with myself and the wonderful Sean. There he is.
Hello there. I'll do the waving.
You do the waving for today. I fucked my left wrist, so I might look a bit weird because I'm only moving my right hand. But, yeah. How are you doing, good sir?
Yes, I'm doing quite well at the moment. Been a few things going on this week, but it's all been good.
That's good.
Yeah, I've been I've ordered a new TV and stuff like that, but I may have a few issues with it. But so we'll get to that at some point, I suppose. It's just one of those things.
Yeah.
It's like when you want something perfect, like, you're never going to get perfection, but you want a certain standard.
You want it to be at least functional.
So yeah, I just got emails and stuff before about it, so my mind was like ticked onto that, and then I'm like, right, got to shift focus back onto the phone.
Somehow.
Yeah. But yeah, it's pretty good. How are you doing this week?
I'm doing well, mate. Been keeping busy. Got a lot of videos done, lots of stuff like that. That's all good. Finally getting the backlog of Fortnite games that we all did like a year ago. Now going up, so that's cool. Obviously hanging out with people, making a lot of plans. It's been good. I've really enjoyed it. Keeping busy, plenty of messaging and arranging for days and stuff.
Yeah, and you're going to be going down to Manchester pretty soon as well.
Yeah, actually, to be honest, the next couple of what day is it today? 19th. So yeah, the next couple of weeks for me are fucking chock-a-block. It's going to be wonderful. I'm going over Niles now tonight, hanging out with him, and then coming back on Monday. Next week then there'll be a lot of streaming, and then the week after I'm going up to Lawrence for like 3 days, and then I come back, pack all my shit, and go up to Manchester with you for a week. So I'm very excited about that.
Very chock-a-block.
Yeah, I can't wait though. It's going to be awesome to be back in Manchester, and especially in December time. All the decorations.
Yeah, Christmas markets and stuff.
Oh, we love to go. But yeah,
I think they got some in Liverpool as well. We've not been to Liverpool, so we'll see.
Oh, but yeah, no, that should be good. Yeah, other than that, I've been alright. Playing some games, watching some stuff.
Yeah.
Relaxing.
Lifing.
Lifing. My bed is not made.
Oh, God.
Empty milk bottle. No carton.
I'm disgusted.
I am a foul creature.
Dogs are going to start barking in a second.
There's the dogs. You just lock them out, just goodbye.
I can, you've always got to be prepared, one step ahead of the game when it comes to these stuff.
Definitely.
Right, but yeah, we will get into it if that's...
Yeah, let's do it. So we have the news. Puppies! We have the puppies. That is the first topic of the day. Doggos.
First topic. They are making themselves known. So obviously, a missile attack on Poland. Well, I say attack. It may have been a rogue missile, but that happened. It's caused a bit of a tension and stir. Yeah. So, what are our thoughts about that? It's Cold War era kind of style.
It is. It's like a second Cold War, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think I understand where Zelensky's coming from. Because he's obviously trying to push to get help and stuff, but I do think that's the wrong way to go. I mean, if it wasn't, I'm not. Russia have done some fucking awful things, and will continue to do so because it's Russia.
Oh, yeah.
But if that wasn't a Russian missile, and let's say it was an air defense missile, and it was just a horrific accident, or it's just part of war. Other countries get affected by it. I'm still not obviously. It's still Russia's fault. Otherwise, Ukrainians' air defense wouldn't have to activate.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Zelensky pushing that it 100% was a Russian missile and they attacked NATO to try and cause a bit of an upstir so that NATO will get involved. I don't know if I agree with that approach. I understand where he's coming from. Of course, he wants help. He needs help as well. But trying to drag the rest of the world into a big World War III, probably not the smart move.
Yeah, there's a lot of vested interests and obviously it would be good for him to have NATO involved and
of course,
bad for Russia and stuff. But I suppose what exactly happened was a missile hit. I was kind of rushing it before, but a missile hit Poland. It killed 2 people. It hit some kind of production factory or some kind of thing. But yeah, obviously this is during the ongoing Ukraine war, where there's been a kind of big tensions between the West and Russia, and obviously Ukraine isn't part of NATO, so we can't directly get involved and help them apart from supplying them with lots of weapons and stuff, unless something hits NATO territory.
Yeah, unless Russia attacks a NATO territory.
Yeah. So obviously this was kind of, brushing the lines of that. But it's kind of one of those things. They don't want to kind of make it a massive deal, even if it actually was a Russian missile hit. I don't think they would actively say that. Well, I think it's in our vested interest to not incite World War III.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of, 3 days ago, Poland, NATO say that the missile that killed 2 people in Poland was likely just a Ukrainian defending against Russia's attack. Yeah. So it's still Russia's fault. We're not no one's blaming Ukraine. I think Zelensky is obviously trying to push for, he needs help, he wants help, he just wants this to be over. And we can all sympathise with that, but you need to find the facts in this at the end of the day, and it's an absolute tragedy. It's also a travesty. It's a tragedy that obviously 2 innocent people in Poland were killed by a defensive action from Ukraine, but it obviously wasn't an intentional thing. And as sad
if it was intentional, why would Russia just randomly attack a facility in Poland and rather than go all out if that's what they were intending to do?
I think looking at the other side of it, I guess you could say that Russia have obviously not exactly been very, shall we say, organised with this attack. So maybe it's like, that missile was clearly, it wasn't meant for Poland, but it still happened, so this is the action they get kind of thing. I can see that argument to it too. But
the default is deny when it comes to Russia.
Absolutely, yeah. They'll deny everything.
I think, even they don't know what's going on.
They're like, fucking
all the commanders and stuff probably go rogue and do whatever the hell they want.
Well, we know a lot of them have fucking run away and tried to avoid kind of any responsibility, and a lot of Russian forces have died and have been pushed back dramatically. So I think that's why when they left, what was it, Kharkiv? Is that what it's called? Ooh, I hope I'm not butchering the pronunciation.
Or Kherson.
When they came out of there, the reason they did the bombing attacks is it's that thing, isn't it? If we can't have it, then we'll just level it for you. So, I mean, regardless, it's an awful situation. It's very sad that 2 innocent people... And I'm not just... it's not just these 2 innocent people in Poland as well. Hundreds of people in Ukraine and Russia who are innocent have probably suffered and died as well. I say probably they have. And... I think it's just, this is unfortunately what war does. It causes a lot of innocent people to suffer, pass away, families losing loved ones. Like, it's shit. It's the best way to describe it.
There's a lot of collateral damage for just,
pride.
The ideals of 2 individuals.
Yeah, just for pride. It's like...
Well, mostly 1 individual. So.
That is true.
But, that's just, the nature of it. And we can't see it ending anytime soon still. He's not backing down, using all the ancient Soviet-era weapons and missiles now, because they've depleted all their modern resources, and it's all just kind of going to shit, but he's still, claiming the higher ground and will not back down.
I mean, on the topic of Ukraine and everything, this is something I came across today. In the Ukraine war, were Russian soldiers shot after surrendering? This has come out after a video has emerged from the front line in eastern Ukraine showing the surrender of a group of soldiers in an incident that appears to end in their deaths. So...
Well, I suppose it's important to, recognise the war crimes of both sides.
Yeah, absolutely.
So in the interest of fairness, because it's not, worth saying, Ukraine are angels and they'll never do anything wrong, when everyone is capable of, wrongdoing and evil or whatever.
Exactly.
It's not just the Russians, but... Yeah, so
I mean, Russia
in the interest of making it fair, then it has to be.
Russia has reacted to the footage, accusing Ukraine of executing Russian prisoners of war. So bear in mind, this comes from Russia. which would be
default.
which technically would be a war crime on Ukraine's part, right? If this footage is true, you're killing prisoners of war. That's a war crime. Ukraine has not yet responded to these allegations. The BBC has not been able to establish Russia's assertions from the video alone, but we've been studying the footage and trying to piece together what might have happened. I'll link this article down below. Again, there's a lot of like analytical footage and a lot of information that comes with this article. But I mean, yeah, if Ukrainian soldiers have killed Russian soldiers as prisoners, I'm not saying they have. Again, bear in mind this accusation has come from Russia. so I mean, take that how you will. But I mean, if that is true, then that's just as bad. You can't
it's just war, isn't it? Though.
Yeah, you can't be committing war crimes. You can't be doing two wrongs don't make a right. It's that old saying, isn't it? So I mean, I get where it's coming from. If this let's hypothesize here, sir. Let's say the footage is real and Russia is right in these accusations. Ukraine has now done something very bad, or Ukrainian soldiers, I should say.
Yeah,
but I mean,
it's like just that the nature of the beast is like the sheer amount of war crimes and stuff Russia has committed. I don't think people can like say how they're like equal or so.
No, absolutely not.
Like, I think people don't really give a shit about that kind of thing. The Ukraine side of the war crimes, but I don't know. It's one of those things. It needs to all be kind of summed up in a international court kind of thing. Yeah. But it's definitely not good. Whoever does it, it's very messy, war and bloody.
Unfortunately, yes. But I mean, it's I don't know. I mean, again, we update as often as we can on this, but it's sort of like one of those things. This is going to be going on for years.
Just ongoing. Yeah.
This isn't going to end anytime soon, and it's certainly going to cause a lot more pain and suffering. Before
that rogue missile was certainly most kind of controversial part of it.
That's probably the closest. The
interesting part so far.
Wasn't
when
Poland,
it comes to world tension.
Yeah, I mean Poland almost, activated Article 4 from NATO. Which is like
all the NATO leaders
meeting. Emergency meeting. So I mean, that could have ended badly, but hopefully we won't see anything like that. At least not in the near future.
It annoys me when you see all these people like online or wherever, like kind of almost excited at the prospect of World War III. There's like, oh, it's gonna be war, it's gonna be war, yeah. It's gonna be so exciting.
What the fuck is wrong
like,
with
just
you
the way they talk about it. Like the end is nigh.
What the fuck is wrong with you people? like
it's like you have to have some common sense and just some,
common sense. Who wants a war? No one. It fucking hurts us all. As we are finding out in the UK.
Yeah, but people will be very quick to scream war at whatever. If someone farts the wrong way, war.
Farting at my dinner table? How dare you?
I know. This is a declaration of war. No. Food fight.
No. But yeah, it's pretty scary. But hopefully, I mean, have you got anything else on the Ukraine war and?
No, that was the most significant event of in the past week or so from Ukraine.
Yeah.
But yeah, still ongoing process. We'll try and update, on any significant events that happen in the future. But
absolutely,
I think that's your lot for now on Ukraine. I was reading the other day about a situation in Iran with lots of kind of anti-hijab protesters. Obviously, a lot of women there for religious reasons and stuff are kind of persecuted, told what they can and can't do. They can't work, they can't drive, they can't do anything. In some areas, I don't know if it's in all of them. I'm not very cultured in the fact that I don't know everything about that kind of society, but I know it's a very difficult place to be a woman. Yes. And lots of kind of celebrities and actors and of Iranian descent have come on to social media and kind of removed their hijab in kind of protest of all this. And Iran are not taking it very well with the kind of police and the government, and they're starting to execute people for this crime of protesting. Yeah. So, what do we think about that?
Foul.
It's just disgusting. Isn't it?
Yeah, fuck off with your religious bullshit. Like, the thing is, I'm fine with religion. I don't have a problem with it. And if hijabs and stuff, they are a part of religion, they are a part of that identity, that's fine. But there is a way to have it implemented, and there is a way to treat it. You cannot force a human being, whether woman or man, to follow strict guidelines and rules like that. It is so outdated at this point. You know?
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know. I think any kind of executing of protesters is disgusting, regardless of whatever is going on. You know, and I think when it comes to something so... and I don't mean to insult or offend anyone when I say this, but in the grander scheme of things, something as minor as wearing a hijab, you know, I understand it's a very important part of their culture, but people don't need to be shot over it. Like, what the fuck is hell? Like, just let them protest. Just update your fucking basic bitch laws.
It's just like an archaic system which, you know, we cannot move on from this.
Yeah.
Like, you need to flow with the times and update, you know, things.
Exactly.
It can't just be, like, written in a scroll and then followed forever. Because times change.
Absolutely.
Things become acceptable, and, you know, the right to protest in... like the US and the UK is a very, very free thing, but obviously it's not very gluing yourself to a street.
Oh yeah, if you're one of those people, you're an idiot. But peaceful protesting, yeah, sure.
Yeah, but yeah, obviously in that society, it's frowned upon, illegal. So how can there be change if it's just everything's being censored all the time?
Yeah, it's basically a dictatorship under the guise of something else. I'm not too sure how Iran's. Well, I'm assuming it's not a very well structured or democratic.
I think they have a government,
party.
But it sounds very much like a dictatorship, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Sounds similar to the UK. But no, but I mean, yeah, it's disgusting regardless, and people should have the right to protest and you know, free speech and all of that, and the right to do what they want with their bodies. You know, if someone doesn't want to wear a hijab on a day because it's fucking roasting, they don't have to, you know, and...
or it's like removing that as a sign of, you know, we're not going to stand for this anymore. So.
We're not going to take it.
Exactly.
But,
So hopefully something happens, something's recognised, someone intervenes in this like horrible, like, just way of punishing these people. Like, what the hell? You wouldn't do that to your worst enemy. Like,
no,
just someone protesting about a hijab.
It's not exactly a good look either.
No, for world relations, like, is going to be ostracized for this. But, you know, Iran are kind of doing trade business deals with Russia as well, so they're going to be, you know...
What a shock.
On that, yeah. All the evils kind of stick together, don't they? Well, as far as Western media reports, anyway.
Yeah. I don't know, it's crazy. I can't quite work out or put my finger on how this is... even a thing in the 21st century, but it just shows how little we've moved as a species. So I mean, as disgusting as it is, it's not really that surprising or shocking.
We don't care about the planet. We don't care about any person. It's just all going to get blown to bits. Humans are the worst thing that happened to you know, this universe.
Yeah, definitely.
But I suppose, have you got any more news things?
I guess the only other thing we could briefly talk about, if you wanted to... oh, god damn it. Why? PC, why are you opening things?
Why PC?
There we go. No, I was just going to say we could talk about the UN. It's basically... It's a currently ongoing thing, so they're updating it hourly and things like that. But there's been a last-ditch push deal for the UN climate talks. They've been extended. Apparently things aren't going well. I can't imagine why.
Yeah.
The most recent update, again, I'll link this all down below so you guys can check it out, was the big debate here is over a fund for the loss and damage of climate-related weather events that are causing countries now. Developing countries insist there should be a dedicated fund. Developed countries said no to that. So, you know, people like us, apparently. Then later on Thursday night, the EU threw a hand grenade into the talks. Not literally. It said it could agree, but on certain conditions. One of them, that all countries with the capacity to help should do so, has upended these discussions. It challenges a fundamental principle of the UN summits that developed countries should pay to help developing countries deal with climate change. The EU is very clear on this, and it has said large emerging economies should be included. That means countries like China, Russia, Saudi Arabia, and the other petrostates, as well as rich countries like South Korea and Singapore. These countries are responsible for high levels of emissions, and some are now amongst the biggest economies in the world. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Like, because again, Russia, China, like all these countries aren't technically a part of the UN, a part of the UN talks. So, I mean,
I think
it needs to be included.
Developed countries do obviously have a burden to help the developing countries. It's one of those things because they're causing all these climate change, and then the developing countries have to deal with the adverse weather effects and terrible conditions that are like mainly caused by climate change, flooding and all that kind of thing. So so they kind of cause it, so they need to foot the bill a little bit. So I kind of on board with that, but I think that's kind of already the way it is now. It's just trying to get China and places like that to kind of up their share, because they are the main contributors.
They are. I mean, there's a graph on that page as well, which kind of shows, because we have that 1.5 degree goal, didn't we, for projecting in 2018.
Oh yeah.
Right now we're on path for it to increase by about 3 degrees. Double. So I mean, it's. I think with something as serious as climate change, it's shocking how just disconnected all these different countries are from each other. Not realizing and understanding, hey, if we all don't do something about this, we're all fucked. Like, no one beats the planet will always win. Like, when we go, the planet will carry on without us. It doesn't give a shit. So, if we want to stay here, we need to actively do something about it. And they're just like, what do we do? It's like, well, fucking stop, you fund it, help it, do something. Like, but yeah, it's crazy. I still can't believe that. I remember when I was in school and climate change was a huge thing and a big talking point, and we're going to do all this stuff by 2020 or whatever, and now we're here in 2022, and it's like, well, we've done fuck all and the planet's dying. That's great. So it's like, well, we did so much to help.
It's like, God, they need to do a lot more, but can we ever do enough to stop what was already been
I mean, we're
done,
past the point of repair. It's more just managing it now to a point of where we get the most longevity out of it and look after the planet so it looks after us.
Yeah. In theory.
Yeah. I don't know if that's going to be the case anymore. Probably not.
But we need to get Greta on stage again. Everyone loves her, right?
Do you know what's funny is, and we'll talk about this briefly before we move on, is because we've brought Greta Thunberg, sorry. We've brought Greta up on the podcast before and talked about her, and both of us have had some choice words for her as well. But I think both of us watched an interview recently, didn't we, with Greta and Russell Howard and.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it,
Yeah, so, I mean, it was definitely interesting to see that side of her and kind of see her acting more down to earth, but also it's still seeing the real her, I guess, instead of just the activist. And it's shocking. I don't know. I was so misinformed on so much stuff, and this just shows, if you don't look stuff up, we talk about it all the time on here, if you don't look into stuff, if you don't check stuff, you're going to get stuff wrong if you just believe something you see. So... I definitely
I don't look into anything.
I try my best more so now these days than I used to, but definitely with Greta, it's my opinion's definitely changed on her dramatically. I definitely see her in a more positive light than I did before. I mean, even she admitted, I think, on the Russell Howard show, that she was like, I was too young when I first started this. I should have had a bit more time to build up, but there was probably a lot going on at that point, and it's like at least someone was willing to, work on this, and she still goes to school, she still studies, she's still doing all this other stuff. So I mean, crazy mad respect to her for being able to juggle it all.
Definitely important to kind of raise awareness for it, and everyone knows who she is. Everyone kind of gets the conversation started about it, and then that will move on to climate change and stuff, which is always a good thing.
Started.
But she was kind of just used as a bit of a vessel, and it kind of stirred up a lot of hatred and things like that. But there will always be that.
Yeah, there'll always be that subsection of people.
Yeah.
So.
But yeah, it is what it is.
Oh. Yeah. Anything else?
This is like a passing thing. It's not really true news. But I wanted to talk a bit about Matt Hancock in the jungle.
Yeah, I was debating whether to bring this up because
I don't know if you've seen any of like how he is in there.
I haven't personally. Like, I still need to catch up on a lot of it. I have seen sort of headlines and sort of things like he was basically doing all the trials, so then the actual production basically stepped in and said that he wasn't doing the next one or something, and that they'd handpicked a few. I don't know. Yeah, I mean,
it's basically become the Matt Hancock in the Jungle show, like for the first week anyway.
Yeah. I still
he was doing all the trials. It's getting all the attention. People were starting to change their minds about him. People were starting to like him. But I like see like he comes across when he's just in normal conversation.
Yeah.
Like he just does not get the situation at all, and he's just.
Of course he doesn't.
Really, obviously impartial to everything. Still a politician at heart.
The person he hired to do a serious job, he fucked. The man, like, how can because I saw a lot of like support for him, and I was like, who the fuck is supporting this prick? I would put him in the jungle just to watch him suffer. I don't care if he seems more normal or nicer. Fuck off. He is an arsehole. The same as the rest of them.
Oh, it's not illegal to fall in love. It's like, no.
It's not illegal to fall in love. He literally hired this woman to work on something during the middle of a pandemic, where he had been to parties that broke laws that he was a part of making. Then he fucked this woman behind his wife's back, and then when that came out, he went, "It was an accident." Oh, I'm so sorry. I slipped.
20% of the nation's a grandparent.
Oh, it's so fucking stupid. Look,
I don't completely blame him for everything.
No,
that went wrong in the pandemic. But of course he has to read the rooms.
Yeah. Look, we're all human, right? Humans make mistakes. It's what we do best. We all make mistakes and do things. Sometimes we look back on and go, "Fuck, that was stupid." But this man literally was part of one of the most corrupt governments the UK has ever had. Ever. And he didn't get fired, he didn't leave, he instead went on "I'm a celebrity," and he's not a celebrity, he is a fucking civil servant. The man should be, how about this, Matt? Instead of going on shows just to try and boost your popularity, how about you fuck off back to your job and actually try and do something and repair something you fucked up? Like, you know, how about that? I'd respect you more for doing that instead of going, "I'm going to go on "I'm a Celebrity" and eat a bollock," you know?
I know, sheep's vagina, that's like, but it's like, even that wasn't entertaining. It all just seems so insincere and fake.
Yeah.
That it's so planned and so meticulously calculated to sway all of our opinions because we're so.
Of course it is. He's a politician. What's his best? What are politicians? I was going to call them bollock-ticians. Let's call them that. Bollock-ticians. What are they best at? Lying. Putting on a show. Making shit up to the public. It's literally what he does. And people are like, "Oh, I kind of like him now." You're a fucking idiot. Have you not learned anything from the last 2 years? Like, anything at all? Like, come on. Oh, but he's not in the government right now. He's not working for... He's still a politician. He's still an MP.
A sheep's vagina is gonna Rick.
He's still an MP.
Repent all of his sins.
They didn't even suspend him. He was meant to be suspended. He didn't get suspended. He's still an MP by law. How? It drives me up the wall because I'm just like, this man fucked the country, and I went, "I'm going to go and I'm a celebrity." Great times.
I know.
And it's like no repercussion. No
is any other politician classed as a celebrity?
Yeah, exactly.
No,
they were civil servants.
One could argue that none of them in there are actually celebrities. But
probably not. Well, Boy George.
Yeah, I suppose.
I guess you could count Boy George. The rest of them, I don't really know.
Misdoings in the past.
I still can't believe this. This is why I haven't watched "I'm a Celebrity" in years, because the people they get on, they're clearly just desperate for any kind of fame or any kind of notoriety for a little bit. And Matt Hancock going on there just fucking put the last nail in the coffin for me. I was like,
apparently Boy George met someone on an app and chained him to radiator and kept him hostage for like 2 days, and then like did his sentence, got put in prison. Like, is someone like that sane? But you know, I will be a fan of second chances. But you know,
yeah, look, I'm all for people atoning for what they've done and acknowledging their wrongdoings and making the best of a bad situation. You know, trying to get back on the right path and do what they can to not. You can't always right the wrongs, but you can do everything in your power to correct course, so you get back on track and you do what's good for yourself and making sure you're okay. Matt Hancock isn't doing that. Neither was Boy George. These were these other fucking people. Like, it's, I don't know. It's just, to me, it's
Boy George has at least paid the price for his.
Yeah, he went to prison, and rightfully so. You don't fucking do that. It's plain and simple. But not unconsensually, anyway. But I mean, on regards to the Matt Hancock thing, I mean, it's just there needs to be a line here. Like, either he is an MP or now he's a celebrity. You cannot be both. That is, it's just it's not a thing. You cannot do both. Yeah, well, this is the thing as well. Like, he's pushing this new book. He went on to multiple podcasts trying to make out like he was. I just because I went to Eton doesn't mean that I'm disconnected from reality. Motherfucker, look what you were doing.
Yeah, seeing him in the jungle, he just doesn't function like a normal human being. Like,
of course he doesn't. He's not. None of the fucking government people.
All he does is like sit there and sleep, from what I've seen, and like he doesn't really communicate well with other people. Yeah, it's like the only thing he knows how to do is be this kind of mascot politician. Yeah. Look,
I'm all for people atoning.
This was a health secretary, and he found some bird shit on a chair, like wiped it off with his finger, and then just ran it under a tap. He is the health secretary. You think you'd use soap?
Like, what a fucking idiot. I don't know.
He doesn't know how to function properly.
There was like a fucking interview he had when he was a health secretary, and he was just standing next to this woman, like right next to her, glaring at her while she's talking to the camera. It's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Like, that's not how you talk to someone. I don't know. For me, it's just all a fucking show and a bravado to fucking try and get people to like him again. And quite frankly, I'd rather hammer a nail through my bollock to a table than like that prick. He ran this country into the ground, the same as the rest of all the governments have. It'll carry on happening until something changes.
Yeah. So some people might sway towards him, but most people will not be kind of affected and see through this kind of bravado.
I'm going to say this once, and I'm going to say it nicely. If you are suddenly liking Matt Hancock, ask yourself why. Look what he did. Look at the problems he caused. Look at the people that died from his fucking idiotic decisions. And you're going, he's alright though, isn't he? Fuck off. Go outside and touch some grass. You clearly haven't been out for a while. I'm sorry, but you are a moron. This is the problem with reality TV shows and stuff. People watch them and then go, oh, my opinion's changed now. That is not reality. You're forgiving him for fucking doing what he did. And I'm not saying people can't be forgiven, like I said, or people can't atone and go back on the right path. This man is an MP. He should be doing that right now, not on some stupid fucking celebrity show.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
Atoning for his wrongdoings rather than going on a show, getting paid thousands and thousands.
And he's still being
himself
paid
in the limelight again.
Yeah, he's still being paid an MP as well, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not even fucking doing the job. He's in the fucking jungle. I don't know. I know.
That's enough on him.
Yeah, fucking. I don't care. I think it's a fucking show, but there we are.
But yes, shall we move on to lighter and more fun things?
Let's go on to gaming. Do you know what, let's talk about some gaming stuff. We've got a lot of gaming. Should we talk about the monthly games for November? Because we didn't do that last time.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Just trying to remember what they are.
So we had Lego Harry Potter The Collection for PS4.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we had the PS4, PS5 version of Noir 2. That's a good one. And we had I think it's called Heavenly Bodies, PS5 and PS4 edition as well. So, I'll be honest, a pretty good lineup. Not too bad. Noir's,
decent.
Yeah, I think Noir's kind of like that Soulsborne kind of game. I'm not too sure about Heavenly Bodies. I haven't played that yet. But Lego Harry Potter, man, that's a banger. That's a good collection.
Yeah, I've been umming and ahhing about buying that one for quite some time. So I'm glad it came up on Plus.
It was a good one. I'm hoping
the one I really hope comes on Plus is Sackboy, because It's never on any sales. Like, I don't know why.
Sony.
It's their mascot or something.
Yeah. Sony just, I don't know. They like it.
The Nintendo route and never reducing any prices.
Yeah.
Of certain games, like Mario Kart for Nintendo. Like it will always be £60.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I mean, that's a fairly good lineup. There's been some speculation about what could come in December. Back 4 Blood was actually one that was thrown around, but I know that was thrown around before as well. I'm not too sure whether or not that would come up. Resident Evil 3, but wasn't that on Plus, or am I misremembering?
We have had some Resident Evils on Plus, but I don't think Resident Evil 3.
Yeah, I think that one was thrown in the ball pit as well. I guess what we could ask is, like, so you said Sackboy. What other is there any other games you'd like to see go on Plus, or on the extra, tiers and stuff like that as well? Because to be fair, I'll admit they've been doing all right with adding games to extra. Probably not so much premium.
Yeah, and taking them away though.
They are taking them away, yeah, that is true. And I will admit, a lot of the ones they've added are kind of ones that were on there in the past. So, I mean, take that for what you will.
And there's a few that people probably won't even be aware of that were on there and may have wanted to play them, and they've gone again. Like, for example, the entire Mafia trilogy.
Yeah, which is weird.
It's gone now.
I mean, I get it. They can only have it on for a certain amount of time, I guess, but that's still kind of poo. Like,
Red Dead is gone.
Yeah.
Don't know what. There's been a few more things, but I'm sure that will be more commonplace in the future. They need to just have a better UI system just to let people know with more than 1 week or 2 weeks notice.
Definitely.
Oh, I think what was the other one? They got an RPG, which I can't remember the name of. That's gone, and like having an RPG with 2 weeks notice, that is going to go. That's a bit lame because it's probably going to take people longer than that to play through it.
Yeah, that's right. Also, they seriously need to start allowing people to download PS3 games and just emulate them off of PS5. It's really not that hard, guys. Come on.
Yeah.
Like,
I think it's Greedfall. That one,
Yes. Although, to be fair, as far as I'm aware, that's not super popular. But it's still the principle, isn't it? It's like taking a game away that someone might want to play in the future.
I think the PS4 version was on the Essential ages ago, but the PS5 version is on there.
Yeah.
So that's a route they could go down, like just saying, we'll just give you the same version of it.
Yeah. But I mean, they're definitely doing better with Extra than they have with Premium, I will admit. Like, Extra had all of the Kingdom Hearts games come out on there, which is really good, including the Melody of Memory, which is kind of like a amalgamation of all of them. We had a couple extra Ubisoft, so we had Siege and Division 2 come out on there, but I mean, if you don't own Division 2 at this point, I mean, I don't know if there's any point in playing it.
It's been like £5 past 6 months.
Yeah.
So...
2 Earth Defense Force games, Breakpoint was added, Oddworld Soulstorm Enhanced Edition, although that came out on Plus.
I want them to add all the Far Cry's, because then it's a bit too late now.
I mean, it's
extra runs out in December.
I mean, it's kind of Ubisoft's thing, though, isn't it? Whether or not they'll add them, and I think the only ones they could add is from 3 onwards. I don't think they could add like 2 because that was on PS3. Yeah. Was that on PS3? No. Stream it, but yeah, Elder Scrolls was added. Gardens Between, What Remains of Edith Finch, another. What I'm noticing is a lot of the games they're adding to Extra, they've already put on Plus anyway.
I know, yeah.
So it feels a bit meh. And then obviously they put all the Ratchet. They put all the Ratchet and Clank games onto Plus and Premium for streaming because still can't download them, which is just so stupid.
I liked A Crack in Time, but I think that was on PS Now for ages, so I played it that way.
Oh, that's fair. I've got a few that I want to play off of Extra, but I'm slowly getting through my backlog.
I have a list of everything I've played on Plus, Extra and Premium, but I'll save that for when I finished my subscription in like December. I'll be like, look how much I played.
I mean, they have got a deal on, like, they keep shoving the deal in my face for Black Friday of like, oh, go to Premium. I'm like, there literally is no point. No, there's nothing.
I'm annoyed because I can't do that deal because you can't stack an Essential on top of a Premium.
Yeah.
Which is really annoying. So if I was to buy the Essential now, it would just give me like 120 days of Premium on top of what I already have, and there's no way to kind of downgrade it until it expires, and then you just kind of buy again. So I'll have to look for deals around New Year time.
There'll probably be something
to get Essential. And you can buy credit for cheaper these days. So.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, another thing we can quickly talk about before we jump into games that we've played and stuff is Stars. The PlayStation Stars thing that they released. It's been out for a little bit now. I've dabbled in it. You know, it's interesting. It's a nice little extra, I guess. Kind of, you know, ranking up, and I guess it kind of encourages you to play more games and stuff to get like rare and higher trophies, which is nice. I still think there's a long way to go on it though. Like some of the challenges they've put out really aren't that great. And
most of the rewards are just kind of pointless. It's like
they're all like digital collectibles and stuff. And you still need so I've got about 2,000 points now. But you know, you get points from buying games, but also you can get points from like completing challenges and stuff. But a lot of the times, you don't get a lot of points for the money you put in. No. So it's kind of when you see something like you can get, I think it's like 20 quid for 5,000 points, or a £20 PlayStation thing. It's like you're spending probably excess of 200 quid before you get that.
Yeah, it's one of those things you just kind of don't even think about it, just forget about it, and then if you ever get anything in the future, then that's a bonus.
Yeah, exactly.
Better than nothing, I suppose.
Yeah, it's something in the background if you ever are sort of like, I don't know what to play. Oh, let's see if there's anything on there. Maybe I can just earn a couple of points for free or whatever.
Yeah. I think I earned like 50 points for just playing a match of Dead by Daylight, which is I was already doing that anyway. So. Free points. Yeah, I've not really been playing too many games. I don't think new games anyway. I've been just grinding on the old ones.
Yeah. Go on.
But we've been playing a lot of Dead by Daylight and stuff like that. Because I was trying to. They had like a double rift point thing for like 3 weeks. So I was like, I'm gonna grind the battle pass out.
I'm gonna grind it.
Yeah. I'm actually getting to 70. There's a few extra levels. But I got my Ghostface Wazza.
You're happy then.
Which is what I was aiming for. That was like pretty much the one thing I wanted. And it just happened to be the final thing you get on.
Yeah, you kind of
because obviously save the best till last.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I'm quite happy with that. Because it's like one of those things, if you already got all the characters or what the items in the past, you're like, oh, well, yeah, this was made for me.
Yeah.
But yeah. We're still playing a bit of Fortnite.
Yes.
Yeah, I haven't really been playing anything too new, I don't think.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get into the medium, but it's kind of a slow start.
Yeah. I'll be honest, the medium has interesting concepts in it. Like, as someone that's played through it, it is an interesting game, and I think you'll enjoy the gameplay aspect of it occasionally. The story, not really that good, considering the subject matter. But I mean, I won't spoil anything, of course. But
could be done better. I think I watched you stream some bit.
So yeah, I think it was
me
and Vic. I think me and Vic played through it, and both of us had the same sort of thing at the end. It was like, well, it was fun, but that dialogue, that story, And I mean, I think we both chatted about it after it as well. We were kind of like, that was a really... Because the subject matter of the medium is quite dark, and they kind of mishandled it toward the end section as well as the middle, so it's like... So, I mean, it's a hard subject to write for. Again, I'm not spoiling anything, but... because it is fun, I do think the gameplay to it is it's enjoyable enough, and it looks pretty, so it doesn't hurt. Yeah.
This is kind of a... Well, I suppose we can go on to whatever games you played if you like. Cause
okay.
That's more an interesting thing.
Oh, okay. Well, I finished Minecraft Story Mode Season 1 finally.
Oh, I think I did that ages ago.
Yeah. I stopped playing it, I think, after episode 4 for a while, and I've just recently finished it now. Yeah. 5, 6, 7, and 8, the dialogue is fucking awful. I will admit, the only episode I didn't really like, I guess, would be, I think it was episode 6, which is when they had like a bunch of sort of Minecraft YouTubers basically in the episode, and it was kind of like, well, this is shit.
I literally only played it just to get the trophies at the end.
Yeah, free platinum. But yeah, it's I don't know.
think I enjoyed it too much.
A lot of the, well, I mean, to show how unpopular it was, when I was looking through the trophies to see like sort of the percentage completion, they're all like very rare, and it's like less than 10% of people that started each episode finished it.
It's
and I
like
can
a
see
guaranteed trophy, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see why though, because the dialogue is pretty garbage. The episodes aren't really that suspenseful, and your decisions don't really make any difference. So I mean, but I personally liked most of the episodes in season 1 anyway. So you know, it was just episode 6.
Story mode based on like a block building game, survival game. So
yeah. I mean,
with no story. So.
It was kind of interesting, like the stuff they pulled in from, like the old builders.
They tried.
Yeah, and having the different worlds and the Portal realm, like that's a cool idea. I just think it was a bit lackluster, and apparently season 2 is even worse. So I'm kind of like psyching. Yeah, they did a season 2. This was when Telltale were just pushing everything out, because they were like, just keep going. Don't even think about the dialogue, and that's why people fucking hated them by the end of it. So. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to play through season 2 probably, but I mean, I'm not really, you know, excited about it. I'm just kind of like, I'll do it because I've got it and it's free trophies.
Yeah, if you've got it, you might as well. If you're fancying something to play, then you can play that.
But I'm still playing through Silent Hill 1. That's going well. I'm having fun with that. Also, another classic horror game, Project Zero. Also known as Fatal Frame. They were old Japanese horror games where you have to use a camera to take pictures of spirits, and that's how you fight them. Very good. I'm loving it. It's so good. The story to it is excellent. It's fun. I mean, you can always emulate the games, so if you own a disc copy and you have a PlayStation 2, voila, go for it. But I would highly recommend people go back. I hope they remake them one day. I mean, I know they brought out a new Project Zero. I think it's Project Zero 5. That came out. That's on PS5 and Xbox and stuff, so I mean, that's cool. But I would like to see them kind of remake those games, because they are classic horror games, and I think the same with Silent Hill. It's the atmosphere they build. Instead of just jump scare after jump scare after jump scare, it's like an actual atmosphere and in-depth story and, you know, something interesting instead of just boo constantly. The only other two I've got is Kingdom Hearts. I'm obviously playing through that, which has been fun. I'm enjoying it. I'm on the second game now, and Modern Warfare 2. I've dabbled in Modern Warfare 2 a little bit. Warzone's just as crap as it's always been.
It had 2.0, didn't it? Or something?
Yeah, which still shit.
Much improved.
No, it's still crap. But then I'm biased. I never liked Warzone, so. But the actual, I haven't started the. No, the only battle royale I can stomach is Fortnite. But yeah, I mean, I haven't played the story yet, so I'm looking forward to playing that. The multiplayer. It's kind of your standard Call of Duty thing. You know, the matchmaking still sucks, but it's fun. You can jump in, play a couple of games, and then bugger off. They've done an interesting thing.
People have been saying it's like the best one for a while.
I don't know if I'd say the best one. I think the first Modern Warfare remake they did was probably the best one so far. Because again, it's kind of like just adding a coat of paint to everything at this point. But I would say out of like Vanguard, Cold War, and then Modern Warfare 2 definitely stands above the rest. And it's still fun. That's the thing as well. It's like, as long as you don't take it competitively, you can play a few games and have a good laugh. The battle pass to it is done very differently, but interestingly. So you earn tokens, then you spend tokens on specific sections of the pass. So you don't. It's not like, oh, you have to do page 1 then page 2. It's like they all link, kind of like a chain. So you can just work towards whatever you want.
Right.
It's definitely an interesting system, and I think it benefits from certain things, but.
And another one of those illusions of getting what you want, but you're still kind of getting all the crap to get to it.
You have to get a few crappy things, yeah. But I mean, there's actual, like, it feels like there's more worthwhile stuff on the pass now than there was in the past. So there's more operators on there now instead of just a skin for an operator. There's multiple guns, but you can unlock those guns anyway. It just takes a lot longer.
Pay to win.
The guns don't. As far as I'm aware, the guns aren't kind of like a pay-to-win thing, right? But I mean, I guess any kind of weapon you put into a pass is going to be a bit of an advantage if someone else doesn't have that variety of weapon or whatever. But it's I don't know. I like what they've done with the progression in it. It's definitely UI wise and kind of options wise, it is the worst Call of Duty that's ever come out. But I mean, I hate saying it, but it'll get fixed in time. Shouldn't be. Should be fucking finished when it comes out.
This is a live service. Well, live service for a year.
Yeah, and then they fuck off.
Then they fuck off the next one.
But yeah, definitely probably one of the better battle passes, I guess, that they've had. Probably the most balanced, probably the most interesting. So I mean, yeah, that's always a plus. I'm always, whether it's Call of Duty, Fortnite, whatever game, I always like seeing it when games improve on something instead of going backwards or trying to cause more problems. Also, to get a token, it doesn't actually take an eternity.
Yeah.
So
good.
That's nice. It still takes a bit of time, but it's not.
I was always a bit put off by various battle passes in like every game because they all seem kind of too hard to achieve anything until I think Fortnite, where it seemed easy to level up and stuff. So I was like, oh, right, this is okay. Kind of opened my eyes to certain battle passes and stuff. But
Fortnite's still probably the best one. If I had to choose the battle pass, that's probably the best Fortnite. You get characters, skins, emotes, all of that, and it doesn't take an eternity to get it done.
Yeah.
What more do you want?
Yeah, more currency than you put in as well.
Yeah, exactly. Which is always a plus. I'll always say yes to that.
Well, what was your favourite COD game? I've got that written down.
Ooh. Interesting choice. Ooh. So, COD 4. COD 4 is definitely...
It was a classic.
My classic number one. That's when the formula changed for it. So, I mean, you know, and it was definitely the best online they had. Simple, but effective. World at War for Zombies. Just was. Although Black Ops 3, close second, I would say. So, how would I order them? Probably COD 4, Black Ops 3, and then World at War. For me, at least. Anyway. But Black Ops 3 was more zombies than anything. So, yeah.
And World at War, that was zombies. Like, that kind of introduced the kind of zombies aspect, didn't it? Mm-hmm. I don't know, kind of... Now, I would say COD World War 2, but I think probably back in the day, it was probably COD 4 and World at War, because they were just, the two, when we was growing up, you just played them constantly.
Yeah.
Probably had the most hours in COD 4.
Yeah.
And obviously there's the remastered one as well, but...
That was actually...
I don't know, something about World War 2 was just reminiscent of the kind of old school CODs, and just the vibe of it, the music, the story... Just everything kind of hit right with me, and I liked that kind of World War II time frame and the kind of boots on the ground style of thing, especially coming after like Infinite Warfare or something.
Yeah. Oh God.
When it is all kind of too technical and stuff. And apparently the story is very good, but like everyone kind of shat on it. But it came at the right time for people. That one, boots on the ground COD.
Definitely.
Not without issues, of course, but I think I don't know. Just the vibe of it was different. It hit different with me.
Fucking loot boxes.
And the story was very kind of underrated. I think a lot of people kind of passed up on it. Story.
I like.
It tries to tell an emotional tale.
I personally, I've always been like, I like the Call of Duty campaigns personally.
I always used to play it first. That's like one of the things you look forward to, isn't it?
I mean, I'm one of the, I guess, more rarity than it was before. Like, I think a lot of people that buy COD now tend to buy it for the multiplayer or zombies or whatever. But for me, I enjoyed the campaigns and the stories. Cold War was probably the worst one for me. I didn't really enjoy that campaign. It just felt lifeless and kind of bland. It was like, hey, you can go off on multiple branches. And I'm like, well, I don't want to. That's not COD.
Be on a mission, I'll do it.
But yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed the campaigns. Even Infinite Warfare, I enjoyed that campaign. It was a good one. Ghosts, one of the most hated COD game that ever came out. I enjoyed the campaign to that. So I've always been a fan of the campaigns more than kind of the multiplayer aspect of it. But Zombies was kind of my top tier, except for Modern Warfare. I mean, they've got like this new cooperative thing that you can. Like cooperative missions, kind of like, do you remember Special Ops? They used to have, I think it was Modern Warfare 3. It's kind of like that. So
that piques my interest.
It's a little bit lazy right now. They've kind of essentially what they've done is take bits of the campaign and just put like sections of them. But they have said they're going to update it and add more stuff in the future. So I mean, if they stick to it, cool. But don't fuck people around.
I know. Hope it's not going to be as half-assed as Special Ops.
Oh, I hope.
Just kind of the same thing over and over again.
Yeah, but cool. Anything else that we have got for games?
this is kind of an interesting thing at the same time. So obviously, with all these games coming out, that kind of returning to 30 frames per second, I'm like talking about. Obviously, there's Gotham Knights and there's Plague Tale and there's rumors of Harry Potter being 30 frames, Hogwarts Legacy. So are we, with like advancing technology, are we like readying ourselves for a return to 30 frames per second gaming on consoles? And like, would that be okay? And you know, is that just something that's going to happen going forward with the better technologies and making use of Unreal Engine 5 and all this kind of thing?
I think a big part of it comes down to, if the game is good, it doesn't matter your frame rate, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's plenty of God of War, perfect example, right? The 2018 version. When that came out, when the PS5 came out, it wasn't the frame rate wasn't unlocked for ages, but it was still fucking brilliant. I could still play it at 30 frames. I think the reason Gotham Knights probably is going to be highlighted more than anything is because it's optimized so poorly. It's even on PC, people with beast rigs are struggling to run it at 60 frames because it's just optimized poorly, and that's probably why the frame rate is locked. As long as you can optimize a game and get that, you know, frame rate out of it, cool.
Yeah.
But I don't think it really matters if a game is good, it's engaging, and you know, it's fun to play, and it's a smooth 30 frames, not fucking jittery. Yeah. I mean, I don't see a problem with it personally.
It's kind of funny because like Gotham Knights and Plague Tale came out like around about the same time, and everyone shat on Gotham Knights just because they kind of wanted something to shit on, I think. And Plague Tale's 30 frames. Oh well, you okay at 30 frames.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. The first Plague Tale, unpopular opinion, it's really not a great game. Unpopular opinion, but I really didn't find it that good.
Yeah. You have to be in the mood to play it. I quite enjoyed it. And
I like the story.
I liked the characters and Hugo and stuff.
Fucking Hugo just annoyed me.
Yeah. Apparently, looks like he's still annoying in the next one, but I haven't seen.
But yeah.
And I enjoyed Rat Palpatine at the end.
Rat Palpatine. That's the only thing that got me through the fucking fight. Rat Palpatine. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I say, on your point though, I don't think 30 frames should be a bashing point for a game. Personally, I think a lot of people have criticised Gotham Knights for being grindy and just too grindy. Like, you have to do the same thing with all the characters to unlock specific things, and that's a valid criticism, I guess, if it is incredibly grindy. But going, it's 30 frames, that's not a... I mean, yes, you can go, it's poorly optimized. That's a complaint. But you can't just be like, just because it's 30 frames, it's shit. That's not how this works.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, 60 frames, oh, it's beautiful. 120, oh, it's so good. But you don't need it to play a great game, you know?
No, you don't.
So, there's plenty of
helps,
great games.
But can get past it after a bit.
Yeah, there's plenty of great games on PS4 that, you know, were only 30 frames and still are only 30 frames, but they're still fun and they're still enjoyable, you know?
Yeah.
So
I think we've just been spoiled with obviously a lot of games on PS5 now were kind of ports from PS4, and you know, they can just make them better because the engine is, you know, fine with that. But now that games are made for PS5, then it's kind of, they're introducing so many new technologies that it's kind of hard to kind of keep everything in balance. So 4K, 60 frames, all this kind of
yeah.
It's hard to kind of get a good balance between all of them. So
yeah.
I suppose technology will still be evolving. We'll probably get a PS5 Pro and all these things. So.
Well, that's already leaked, isn't it? They're doing a PS5 Slim. PS5 Slim. So, I mean, what's your thoughts on that? Having like a PS5 Slim at this point, you know, we're 2 years into the PS5's life cycle.
I don't know. It just seems. I suppose it seems a bit like, is this the halfway point already? Seems like we're not even going to it yet.
Yeah, exactly. We're still having cross-gen games. Yeah, PS4, PS5. So I mean,
it's I don't know. Like, yeah, whatever. For people who don't, there's already still stock issues for PS5. So
actually, apparently they fixed now. They're not as bad. They're actually staying on sale for a couple of days before.
So if you want a PS5, now's the time to get one.
Definitely. I mean, they still go out of stock, but I mean, considering, like, if I saw the chart the other day for the sales of the PS5, and you literally see how it's just been like this for ages, and then it just goes whoop because they fixed the stock problem. So I was like, holy shit.
So they finally got that started, and now they're doing it like a different model. So, Well, good luck to them if that's just some kind of business strategy that works, and that's fine. But I mean, I'll stick with my base PS5 for as long as it works.
I'm good with the base PS5, thank you.
Yeah.
I don't need to be splashing more cash. I'm good.
I know, yeah. As long as it works, then
exactly, yeah.
I'm fine with that.
What's the difference going to be in a PS5 Slim? Oh, it's smaller. Okay. Like, does it suddenly give me 150 FPS? Like, is it always
just transcends your TV? Gives you like 300 FPS.
Well, that's another thing as well, I guess we could talk about quickly, is with PCs and computers, you can use HDMI or DisplayPort, which basically gives you 120 frames regardless, on a PC anyway. But when it comes to consoles, TVs have to be updated too to catch up with them, you know? Sony famously recently released 2 new monitors for the PS5 because they're the only 2 monitors that can do 144 Hz 4K, so 100 and have like everything the PS5 can do, and they're very expensive. So it's like, is it really worth updating these consoles so frequently when the technology for, say, TVs and things really isn't catching up quick enough?
I know, and they're kind of pumping out all these 4K TVs these days.
Yeah.
At cheap prices. And they're all just kind of plagued with issues and stuff. Not to bring that salt.
That's a jab. That's good.
Not to fall onto personal experiences. But it's like, I don't know. TVs need to kind of catch up, and they need to do a bit more QA testing on certain ones.
Just a bit.
Yeah. It's like weird because you can have a TV like from 10 or so years ago, and it somehow performs better than TVs that are being produced nowadays. Weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's enough about them. I'm gonna get triggered.
Triggered. Yeah. No. I mean, fair enough. That's fair enough. Anything else we have for gaming, good sir?
No, I don't think so.
Ooh, okay. Shall we move on to things we've watched?
Yes. Well, I've been getting into Rick and Morty recently. I've never watched it before, so I've been watching a bit of season 1.
I'm a pickle!
Yeah, I have been enjoying it. I think I'm like 7 or so episodes in. I was like, oh, this is funny. Enjoying it. I liked the one with like the knockoff Freddy Krueger. It's just like bitch. They have to like go into everyone's dreams, and then dreams within dreams. It's like
Dreamception.
And one with like Summer going to like a world where the females rule, and it's like you can go back to your world where females are equal, but not really.
Females are equal, but not really. It's like, oh fuck.
Yeah, so that's been a pretty fun experience so far. I'm looking forward to watching more. We'll perhaps have to watch them when.
Definitely. I am all up for that.
God of War Ragnarok came out, so the 10 out of 10s from everyone. So I'm expecting quite a lot from that. It looks very, very good actually. I've watched like the first 45 minutes, and I try not to watch anything else of it because if I do decide to play it one day,
I don't want to spoil it.
But yeah, the story looks so good, emotional, hits the right moments. Gameplay, from what I've heard, is very good. Advancement over the first one.
Definitely.
The only criticisms I've probably heard so far is the kind of, with it being a cross-gen title, like the kind of level design is maybe a little bit kind of held back and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because it literally it wouldn't be able to run on PS4 if it was like more catered towards like better, bigger, expansive level design and more kind of enemies on the screen and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a massive issue for a lot of people. They just want to kind of shove their axe into things.
Yeah, which you can definitely do in that game.
Yes.
So, I mean, yeah, I think for a while we've got to get used to just having games come out on both PS5 and PS4, and with that comes the caveat of there are limitations to what they can do with the game. So, I mean, that's fine though. Again, it's that thing, isn't it? It's that as long as it's a great game and it's fun and you enjoy it and you can immerse yourself, who cares?
Yeah.
Games are meant to be fun. Don't take them so seriously.
Exactly. And it's still one of the best looking games despite that of the current generation anyway.
Absolutely. Stunning. Stunning.
It's all about the like design around it as well, and it still kind of keeps with that kind of single shot, technique that they use.
Yeah.
And yeah, and the characters and stuff. I think people will see past any kind of flaws when it comes to just the golden weaving of all the story elements and every characters. Yeah, you can't program that shit. You have to write it.
You have to write it.
So
yeah, that's fair.
Big ticks there, and I'm looking forward to eventually getting that one day and playing it.
Yeah.
Yes, any games you've been playing and stuff like that?
I don't think there's anything
films even
else. Oh, that's true. Yeah, we'll move on to films and stuff. What have I actually done?
I just brought up God of War Ragnarok.
I mean, that's fine. God of War Ragnarok's a beast. And to be fair, I enjoyed 2018 version, so. But yeah.
Anyway.
Films and TV. I've been watching through, so there's the first 2 parts of this documentary are, but the third one's still coming. It's called In Search of Darkness. It's kind of based on the old classic 80s horror stuff. And yeah, I've been really enjoying it. It's a fascinating dive into all of like the 80s horror and what made it so unique. You know, you've got people like Robert Englund who are on there, who obviously famously played Freddy Krueger, Kane, who played
Kane Hodder,
who played Jason. They're all talking about it and they're going through it and they're talking about all these different films. And there's films I never even heard of that now are coming up and I'm like, ooh, I need to watch that. So yeah, a fascinating documentary. I think each episode is about 4 hours, so it is a big boy. But yeah, no, it's a fascinating watch, and especially if you're a fan of horror, I recommend it highly.
Slashes.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Other than that, I haven't wrote anything down.
I did watch a scary movie the other day with Robin.
Yeah.
We both quite enjoyed it. I always never really rated scary movie one because it always felt old to me.
Yeah.
I don't know why, even though it's 2000 and it always felt like it's a bit outdated. But going back and watching it now, it's probably up there with favourites.
Yeah.
So obviously scary movie, they kind of go downhill as they go on with like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, the original trilogy were kind of the best.
Definitely.
Mocking those horror films like they do. So good.
So well. They do it so well. Yeah, no, I mean, I stand by the fact
that Naked Gun binge.
Oh, Naked Gun. I love Naked Gun, man. I just want to watch more and more of it, even though there is no more.
No, we watched them all.
Why? Yeah. No, that's fair. Have you got anything
I think you should bring out more parody films.
Yeah.
In the vein of scary movie. Like, obviously, they went for a phase of doing all of them, like disaster movie, superhero movie.
I mean, they're all garbage, but I mean, they're great in their own unique
garbage,
way.
but they're kind of watchable garbage.
Yeah, popcorn. Sort of just, I want something different. It takes the piss out of everything.
Epic movie, I think. There's loads of them, but that kind of fizzled out, and they just don't do these kind of parody films anymore, it seems.
Yeah, they're just like, no.
There's no kind of market for them, so hopefully there's a return of them, because they could play into the whole kind of requel kind of thing, and the nostalgia aspects.
I mean, it's definitely something that, I mean, just look at Scream. That's pretty much what the entire series is, isn't it?
You need to do Scary Movie, the requel. Watch that.
Scary Movie.
It's sequel to the original.
The requel.
Ghostface is just constantly stoned. Because like, Doofy got away, didn't he? So this could still be a sequel to that.
Well, he was in the end, you find out he was the mastermind, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's not really an idiot, he's actually a genius.
Yeah, exactly. Doofy. But yeah. I watched, I can't remember if I talked about this ages ago, but the latest Jordan Peele one. Nope. Yeah, that was not as good as his previous 2 ones, which I enjoyed. There's obviously Get Out and Us. I really like them for the horror elements in there.
Yeah.
But this one, just wasn't really feeling it from the start. Really, it's kind of boring. I think he might be getting a bit too big for his boots. He needs to just kind of rein it in a little bit.
Yeah. Start doing something a bit different, or putting a bit more effort into something.
Yeah, it was overlong. the payoff wasn't very good. The horror elements were kind of non-existent, barring a few scenes.
Yeah.
And yeah, like it's filmed very well and shot very well and stuff like that, but it was lacking that kind of substance for me that's drawn me into it, especially from looking at the trailer of it. Like, oh my god, this is going to be amazing, and it completely subverts your expectations. But I suppose that's what Jordan Peele's all about: subverting the expectations and kind of making things differently.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I want to be entertained.
Entertain me.
And I wasn't.
Oh, disappointing.
I know. Scathing review. No, but yeah, I'm sure some people will enjoy it.
Scathing. It's terrible. It's awful.
Terrible. Awful. No, it's all right, but
could be better.
Wish it was better.
Oh, that's fair.
But yeah, that's my film thing done, and a game in there, which I apparently got dementia.
No, it's fine. Well,
that's a very cinematic game, though.
It is. It's true. That is very true. It is very cinematic. Have we got any interesting things?
Apart from just what your favourite COD was and return to 30 FPS gaming. Yeah. That's kind of the blending into the interesting things section.
Fair. I mean, that section has become kind of dead now. It's more just we just add everything into everything else.
And we had kind of a big section on kind of the Hancock scenario, celebrities and politicians.
True. Yeah. So I mean, I think that might be it then.
No, very well.
But yeah, no, that was good. There we are.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Concise and to the point.
Yeah, I thought it would be a bit of a shorter one today, but you know what? Sometimes that's how it goes, man. We have shorter podcasts, and sometimes they're longer.
It's always the case when you think that, oh my god, I've got loads of stuff to talk about, and then it's always that's always the shortest one. But then when you got nothing, and then you can just wing it for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Just that's the way we do things.
It is. Well, this will be the last podcast for a little bit. The next one's going to be slightly late being uploaded because, well, we're doing it in person. So that'll be interesting. So I'm looking forward to that. So yeah, hope everyone enjoyed the podcast and enjoyed listening to it, watching it, however you consume it. Yeah,
don't eat it.
Don't eat it though. Yeah, no, we don't want to eat it.
You don't taste very nice.
Nope. So yeah, I mean, it's been fun. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll catch you in the next one we do, which will probably release in about 3 weeks' time now. But yeah, thank you all very much for listening, watching, and consuming, apart from eating us. And yeah, thank you to Sean for being with me and joining me with.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. And yeah, we shall catch you in the next one.
Catch you in the next one. Bye, everyone. Take care.